Ladies and gentlemen, how many of us have faced moments in our lives when the weight of the world seemed to be on our shoulders? When every decision felt like the hardest one. We are constantly bombarded by the need to control, to hold on, to fix things. But what if I told you that the greatest strength we can show is not in our ability to control, but in our ability to let go and trust? We often find ourselves in situations where we desperately try to control the outcome, whether it's a relationship, a career, or even our own happiness. The world around us moves fast, and we think that if we just push a little harder, plan a little better, or hold on just a bit tighter, we can shape every moment into exactly what we want. But here's the truth. Trying to control everything in our lives can create more stress, confusion, and frustration than we ever imagined. Think about it. When we try to control something, we are essentially telling ourselves that we are the only ones who can make it work, that we are the ultimate solution. But that's a heavy burden to carry. We put so much pressure on ourselves, believing that if we don't get it right, if we don't keep everything in check, everything will fall apart. We start thinking that our worth is tied to our ability to control every outcome, every detail. But here's the catch. No matter how much we try, there are forces beyond our control. People, circumstances, even the very nature of life itself. It all moves in ways that are often unpredictable. And that's okay. When we learn to let go of the need to control every aspect, we open ourselves up to a space where we can breathe, where we can trust in something bigger than ourselves. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean being passive or neglecting responsibilities. No, it means having the wisdom to recognize that some things are just beyond our grasp. And once we acknowledge that, we can allow ourselves to step into a place of peace and release. It's a practice, really, a mindset that says, I trust that things will work out even when I can't see the full picture. When we let go of control, we stop trying to force outcomes and start allowing life to unfold. It's about surrendering the need for perfection, for everything to align just right. Instead, we learn to trust the journey, no matter where it leads. And when we do that, something magical happens. We start to feel lighter, freer. We begin to operate from a place of faith, not fear. It's no longer about forcing our will into every situation, but about accepting that some things are not ours to control. And in that acceptance, we find true freedom. This expanded version dives deeper into the concept of control, explaining the impact it has on our lives and emphasizing the importance of letting go. Let me know if you'd like further revisions or more details. At the core of letting go and trusting in God lies one of the most fundamental aspects of life, faith. Faith in a higher power is what allows us to release our need for control, to surrender our fears, and to trust that there is a purpose behind everything that happens to us, even when we don't understand it. Faith is not simply a belief in something, it's a deep-rooted knowing that there is a force greater than us guiding us toward a better tomorrow. But faith by its nature is not easy. It requires us to believe in the unseen, to trust in the unknown, and to walk forward without the guarantee of a clear outcome. We live in a world that thrives on tangible evidence and instant results. We're taught to rely on what we can see, hear, and touch. But true faith takes us beyond the realm of the material and into the realm of the spiritual and the unseen. It's about knowing that even when things look uncertain, God has a plan for us, a plan that might not always align with our own understanding, but is always designed for our growth and ultimate good. The beauty of having faith in a higher power is that it gives us the strength to face life's challenges. It allows us to approach each obstacle, each setback, each disappointment, not as a failure, but as a part of a greater process. You see, faith in God doesn't mean we won't experience hardship. It means that we can face hardship with the assurance that we are not alone. It means that when things fall apart, we can trust that God is there, working behind the scenes, weaving a story that is bigger than anything we can comprehend. Faith also gives us a sense of purpose. When we trust in God's plan, we understand that every step we take, even the steps that feel like detours or setbacks, is leading us towards something greater. It helps us see the bigger picture. Even when life throws us curveballs, faith helps us stand firm, knowing that we are being shaped for something greater than our current understanding. Without faith, it's easy to feel lost, to feel like we're wandering aimlessly. But with faith, every moment, every challenge becomes a part of a divine purpose. But faith is also about surrender. It's about relinquishing our own desires for how we think things should be and accepting that God's plan, though mysterious at times, is always better than anything we could have imagined. It's about trusting that we don't have to have all the answers because the one who created us does. It's about letting go of our timelines, our expectations, and our own limited perspective in order to embrace the infinite wisdom of God. Having faith in a higher power also means accepting that life is not always going to be easy. There will be times of uncertainty, confusion, and pain. But in those moments, faith provides us with the courage to keep going. It gives us the strength to push forward, to trust that even in our darkest moments, we are not abandoned. Faith is the light that guides us through the storm, the anchor that keeps us steady when the waves of life try to pull us under. When we trust in a higher power, we begin to experience peace, a peace that surpasses understanding, a peace that doesn't depend on our circumstances, but on the unwavering belief that everything is happening as it should. Faith teaches us to let go of worry, to stop trying to manipulate every situation, and to rest in the knowledge that God is always at work, even when we can't see it. This expanded version elaborates on the concept of faith in a higher power, touching on the importance of trust, surrender, purpose, and peace in the journey of life. Let me know if you'd like further adjustments. Fear and doubt are two of the most powerful forces that hold us back from living the life we are meant to live. They are the silent barriers that keep us from stepping into our true potential, from embracing the opportunities that God has placed before us. Fear tells us that we're not good enough, that we will fail, and that we are unworthy of the dreams we hold deep in our hearts. Doubt creeps in and questions our ability, our decisions, and even the very path we are walking on. Together, fear and doubt form a wall of insecurity and uncertainty, making it feel impossible to move forward. But here's the truth. Fear and doubt are not indicators of who we are. They are simply obstacles to our growth. They do not define us. And when we learn to trust in God, we find the courage to rise above them. Overcoming fear and doubt begins with the understanding that these feelings do not have to control us. They are natural, yes, but they don't have to dictate our actions or our future. The first step in overcoming fear and doubt is acknowledging their presence. It's easy to pretend that fear doesn't exist or to bury it deep down inside, hoping that it will go away. But ignoring fear only gives it more power. Instead, when we face our fears head-on, we take away their ability to control us. We acknowledge that fear is a natural part of life, but it doesn't have to be a part of our story. Fear becomes less intimidating when we stop pretending it doesn't exist and start understanding it as a signal that we are stepping into new territory. Territory that may be uncomfortable, but necessary for our growth. Doubt, too, can be overwhelming. When we doubt ourselves, we begin to question everything we've worked for, every decision we've made. It's easy to look at others who seem to have it all together and think that we don't measure up. But here's the thing. Doubt is often rooted in the idea that we are not enough. We forget that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, that we have been given unique gifts and abilities, and that we are capable of more than we think. When we trust in God, we realize that our worth is not determined by the opinions of others or our past mistakes. It is defined by the Creator who made us. Trusting God is the antidote to fear and doubt. When we let go and place our trust in God's plan, we release the need to control everything around us. We stop relying solely on our own understanding and allow ourselves to lean into the wisdom and guidance of a higher power. Trusting God means believing that even when we don't have all the answers, He does. It means knowing that he is working everything together for our good, even when the path ahead seems unclear or uncertain. Overcoming fear and doubt also requires action. It's not enough to simply acknowledge fear or doubt. We have to take steps forward even when we feel afraid. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the willingness to act in spite of it. When we trust God and take that first step, we begin to see that the things we feared were not as powerful as we once thought. Each step we take in faith weakens the hold that fear and doubt have on our lives. The more we trust, the more we act, and the more we see that God's promises are true. Finally, when we learn to overcome fear and doubt, we step into the fullness of what God has for us. Fear may try to stop us. Doubt may try to shake our confidence. But when we stand firm in our faith and trust in the higher power that guides us, we move forward with strength and purpose. We stop letting fear dictate our decisions and instead let faith lead the way. This expanded version delves deeper into the relationship between fear, doubt, and trust, emphasizing how faith in God helps us overcome these obstacles. Let me know if you'd like more elaboration or adjustments. Change is one of the few constants in life. It is inevitable, unavoidable, and often comes without warning. While change can bring new opportunities, it can also bring discomfort, uncertainty, and fear. We are creatures of habit, and it's easy to become comfortable with the familiar. But the truth is, change is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. When we learn to embrace change, we open ourselves up to growth, new experiences, and the chance to fulfill our true purpose. Many of us resist change because it forces us out of our comfort zones. We're afraid of the unknown and the potential for failure. We hold on to the past, to the way things used to be, because it feels safe. But here's the reality. When we cling to what is familiar, we close ourselves off to what could be. We prevent ourselves from stepping into a future that is bigger and better than we could ever imagine. Change is the gateway to that future. It is the door that leads us to new opportunities, new relationships, and new versions of ourselves. Embracing change means letting go of the need to control everything. It means recognizing that change is often a part of a bigger plan, one that we may not yet fully understand. When we trust God through the changes in our lives, we can be sure that He is guiding us every step of the way. The challenges we face, the transitions we go through, are all part of His plan to shape us into who we are meant to become. When change occurs, it is easy to get caught up in the fear of what we might lose. We worry about losing stability, comfort, or control. But change is not about loss. It's about transformation. It's about moving from one chapter of our lives to another. And while it may feel uncomfortable at first, it's important to understand that transformation requires change. We cannot grow if we are not willing to let go of what is no longer serving us. Change brings with it the opportunity to become the best version of ourselves. It challenges us to rise above our circumstances, to stretch beyond our limitations, and to trust that the process is leading us to something better. Often the things we fear the most about change, the uncertainty, the discomfort, the unknown, are the very things that help us grow. They are the catalyst for our personal development. Without change, we remain stagnant. But with change, we are pushed to expand, to adapt, and to evolve into the person we are destined to be. Moreover, embracing change helps us develop resilience. Life will not always go according to plan, and we will encounter setbacks and unexpected twists. But when we embrace change, we build the mental and emotional strength to face these challenges. Instead of resisting change and fighting against it, we learn to accept it as a natural part of life. We learn to adapt, to find new ways of moving forward, to trust that no matter what happens, God is in control. The process of embracing change also involves developing a mindset of possibility. Change is often accompanied by a sense of loss, but it is also filled with potential. When we let go of the fear of the unknown and look at change with eyes of faith, we begin to see opportunities where others might see obstacles. We start to recognize the blessings that come with change, the new doors that open, the fresh perspectives that emerge, and the growth that we experience as we move through the transitions of life. This expanded version of Embracing Change discusses how change plays a vital role in personal growth, the importance of letting go, the benefits of transformation, and how faith allows us to navigate change with strength. Let me know if you'd like more adjustments. The weight of past hurts can be one of the heaviest burdens we carry, whether it's the sting of betrayal, the pain of rejection, or the scars left by failed relationships. Past hurts have the power to hold us hostage. We replay the events over and over in our minds, allowing the pain of yesterday to dictate how we feel today. But here's the truth. Holding on to past hurts is not only detrimental to our mental and emotional health, but it also keeps us from stepping into the fullness of what God has planned for our lives. Letting go of past hurts doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It doesn't mean pretending that the pain wasn't real or that the hurt didn't cut deep. What it means is that we refuse to allow the past to define our present or our future. It means releasing the anger, the bitterness, and the resentment that we've held on to for so long. It means freeing ourselves from the emotional chains that have been keeping us stuck in a cycle of pain and hurt. For many of us, the idea of letting go can feel impossible. We've been hurt so deeply that it feels like our very identity is tied to the wounds of the past. But in reality, holding on to those hurts only gives them more power over us. Every time we revisit that pain, every time we allow it to control our thoughts and emotions, we are giving the past more space in our lives. We are allowing the hurt to continue long after the event has passed. By holding on to the past, we prevent ourselves from healing and moving forward. One of the most powerful steps in letting go of past hurts is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not for the person who wronged us. It's for our own healing. Forgiveness is about releasing the need for vengeance or for an apology that may never come. It's about understanding that holding on to unforgiveness only keeps us tethered to the very thing that hurt us. When we forgive, we take back control over our own lives. We stop allowing the actions of others to dictate our emotional well-being. And by forgiving, we open the door for God's peace to fill the empty spaces in our hearts. Letting go of past hurts also requires us to acknowledge that we are worthy of healing. For many, there is a belief that if we let go of the hurt, we are somehow letting the person who hurt us off the hook. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Letting go does not mean condoning what was done to us. It simply means we are no longer allowing the past to hold us captive. We deserve to live in peace, and we deserve to walk forward with joy. When we let go, we make room for healing and growth. The process of letting go also involves releasing the need to constantly relive the pain. When we hold on to past hurts, we sometimes use them as a shield. We think that if we keep replaying the hurt, we can prevent it from happening again, or we somehow protect ourselves from future pain. But in truth, reliving the pain only keeps us trapped in a cycle of hurt and prevents us from moving on. It's a way of living in the past, and as long as we live there, we cannot fully embrace the present or look forward to the future. Letting go of past hurts also means trusting that God will heal us. There is no wound too deep for His healing power. No matter how broken we feel, God can restore and mend our hearts. His love is stronger than the pain of our past, and when we trust Him with our healing, we allow Him to work in ways we could never imagine. Letting go requires faith that God will turn our pain into something beautiful, that He will use the very things that hurt us to shape us into the person we are meant to be. Finally, letting go of past hurts is not a one-time event. It's a process. It's something that we may need to do daily, especially if the pain is still fresh or if the scars are deep. Each time we feel the pull to revisit the hurt, we must make a conscious choice to let it go again. And each time we let go, we move one step closer to healing, to freedom, and to the life that God has called us to live. This expanded version emphasizes the importance of forgiveness, healing, and trusting God to move beyond past wounds. Let me know if you'd like any further adjustments. Living with purpose is one of the most powerful ways to experience fulfillment and joy in life. It's about understanding that we are not here by accident, that our lives have meaning beyond mere survival. Each of us has been created with a unique calling, a specific set of gifts, and a purpose that only we can fulfill. Living with purpose is about discovering that calling, aligning our actions with it, and allowing it to guide us every day. Too often we go through life without really understanding why we're here. We get caught up in the daily grind, chasing after things that don't bring lasting satisfaction, and focusing on external accomplishments that leave us feeling empty. We may achieve success in the eyes of the world, but still feel like something is missing. This sense of emptiness comes from living without purpose, without a clear understanding of why we do what we do and where we are headed. Living with purpose requires self-awareness. It starts with taking the time to reflect on our passions, our values, and the things that truly matter to us. What are the things that light us up, the causes that ignite our hearts? What are the skills or talents that come naturally to us, the things we do effortlessly that bring joy to others? When we align our daily actions with our inner values, we begin to step into our true purpose. The challenge is that living with purpose often requires us to make difficult choices. It requires us to prioritize what truly matters, even when it means letting go of things that might seem good but are not aligned with our greater calling. It's about saying yes to the things that resonate with our core and no to distractions that pull us away from our true path. Living with purpose doesn't always mean taking the easy route. Sometimes it means making sacrifices and stepping into discomfort in order to fulfill the bigger picture that God has designed for us. Another crucial element of living with purpose is perseverance. There will be times when the road feels long, when we face obstacles that make us question whether we're on the right path. Life has a way of throwing challenges our way, and it can be easy to get discouraged. But when we live with purpose, we are equipped with the strength to keep moving forward, even in the face of adversity. Our purpose is what keeps us going when things get tough. It gives us the motivation to rise each day with passion and drive, knowing that what we're doing matters. Faith plays a central role in living with purpose. We believe that God has a plan for our lives, a plan that is good and full of hope. Trusting in that plan, even when we can't see the full picture, is key to moving forward with purpose. Sometimes our purpose may not be clear in the moment. We may have to walk through seasons of uncertainty. But faith allows us to keep going, knowing that each step is leading us closer to where we're meant to be. Living with purpose also involves impact. Our purpose is not just about us. It's about how we affect others. The gifts we have been given are meant to be shared, to serve others, and make a difference in the world. When we live with purpose, we begin to see the ways in which we can be a light to those around us. We become aware of the needs in our community and the world, and we seek to use our talents and abilities to bring about positive change. Purpose brings clarity to our decisions. It helps us focus on what's important, helping us avoid distractions that pull us away from our true goals. When we have a sense of purpose, every choice becomes easier because we are guided by a clear sense of direction. We know what to say yes to and what to say no to because we understand how each decision aligns with our greater calling. Ultimately, living with purpose is about understanding that our lives have meaning beyond what we see in the moment. It's about recognizing that the work we do, the relationships we build, and the contributions we make all play a role in the larger story of our lives. Purpose is the compass that directs us, the foundation that keeps us grounded, and the fuel that drives us toward a life of significance. This expanded version explores self-awareness, perseverance, faith, impact, and decision-making as crucial elements of living with purpose. Let me know if you'd like any further adjustments.